आज फर्स्ट छुट्टी है, मैं आज करूँगा.
Okay. So how do we start the project? How do we start the React project?
NPM.
Yeah, npm, and then not dev,
Run dev. Run dev.
run dev. Okay, so control and click, and we would have a counter now. Okay, so the next thing we want in our counter, so it's working perfectly. So the next thing we want is, so let's do this first. Now for each function, I am calling the set count function again and again, because for the decrease button we want to decrease the count variable. For the reset we want to make it go back to 0, and for the increase button we want the count to basically increase. So we are calling set count again and again. So what I want to do is, I want each of the three buttons to call the same function. So what I mean by that is, I'm going to remove all the functionality I've written in the previous class, and I'm going to say this, all of these buttons are going to call a function called handle count. Now this is user defined, like we need to define it. So where are we going to make this function?
Before return.
Before the return statement, yes. So const handle count. Okay, so if I were to do this, let's say I'm gonna say this handle count is going to do what? Is going to set the count variable to count plus 1. Okay, it's going to do what? It's going to add into the count variable. The question is, what's going to happen if I were to click on this reset? All of,
It also increase the number.
exactly. So each of these buttons is calling the handle count. And what is handle count doing? It's increasing by 1. So even if I were to click on decrease, it's going to increase it. And if I were to click on reset, same thing. Same for the increase as well. So each of it is doing the same functionality, that's increasing the count. So how are we going to differentiate between the buttons? Like we need different functionality on each button, and we want each button to call the same function though. So how are we going to do it?
Using hooks.
We already have the hook. How would we know which button are we clicking on? So this is the first step.
Like condition.
Yes, exactly, like conditions. So what am I going to write here? Like what would be my condition? Inside the button, I'm going to say, let's say if what? Let me,
If the button is clicked, like
which button is clicked?
Reset.
the reset.
How would I know
No,
that I'm clicking on
increase.
the reset
Increase.
button? How would I know that? That's the main part. If you want to put conditions on a
सर हमने
button,
उसको कोई नाम ही नहीं दिया.
we did. Okay, let's give it a name. Maybe let's call it decrease. Now I need to tell you guys one thing, and that is, this React is not using the actual DOM. Which DOM is it using? React is using which DOM? We talked about this. Which DOM is React using? That makes it really fast. Come on, I told you guys about this.
Yeah, there's two DOMs. I'm trying to remember the name.
Starts with we. We as in.
Mm. Oh,
When.
uh,
What was it called?
virtual.
Virtual DOM. So React uses virtual DOM, and virtual DOM doesn't work like actual DOM. So we cannot use, like, how would we get this button in simple JavaScript? How would we catch this button in JavaScript? We would do what? We would do
Like with
document.query
the name
selector. Yeah, we
name
would.
of the button and his own click. So do that.
Exactly, document.query selector, and then get this button. But the only problem is we cannot use document.query selector inside React because it doesn't use the simple DOM, it uses virtual DOM. So we can do that. So who's going to tell us which button I'm clicking on? This click is going to tell me. So click is calling this handle count function. So all of the information of this click is stored inside this handle count function. And how do we access that information? Do you guys remember? We studied this in JavaScript. How do we get the information of the event? Do you guys remember
With
event
dot.
objects? Okay, so
Yes,
whenever
sir.
you
Event object, sir. Yeah.
yes,
E.
exactly. So whenever you perform an event, all the information of that event is stored inside the any parameter. You can take any parameter here. Let's say the most common is E. So all of the information is going to be stored inside this E. And what is this E? This is an event object. Like all of the information of this event is going to be stored inside this E. So let me console log this for you. So I'm gonna say whenever this button is clicked, so simply console.log E. Okay, so click. Now we have all of the information. So what do we need? We need the text of this button. So this is all of this is E. So the text is somewhere around in the target. So target is also an object. So E dot target, and then inside the target we would have these two things: inner HTML or inner text. So how do we know which button we are clicking on? We are going to say E, and then after getting the E, we want to get the target, and then after getting the target, we need to get the inner HTML or inner text. This thing is going to tell me whether we are clicking on increase, decrease, or reset. Let's test it out. So I'm going to click on decrease. What should be the output in the log? We said I need the text of the button. So what should be the output here?
Decrease.
Decrease. And what about here? Reset, and then here we have increase. Okay, now since we know which button we are clicking on, now we can put the conditions. So we're gonna say if what?
If E dot target
Very good. If E dot target,
dot inner HTML
very good, dot inner HTML, and then
is equal to decrease
exactly why do we have to put double equals?
because it's a equal operator.
It's yes, it's basically equality operator, like comparison operator. So if it's equal to decrease, make sure it's exactly as it's written in the button. If it's equals to decrease, what do I want to do with the count? I want to decrease it. So we're gonna say set count, whatever the value of count is, minus 1. Okay. Similarly, I want to put another condition here. So what would I say?
Else if
Very good. Else if e dot target dot inner HTML is equals to what? What more do we have?
increase
Increase. Good. So if it's equals to increase, make sure it's written as we have written it here. Like if the I is capital, it should be capital here as well. So if it's equal to increase, what do we want to do?
else
No. What do we want to do if it's equals to
The
increase?
set count.
set
Very
count
good. Set count. And
Parentheses count plus
very
one.
good. The value of count plus 1. Perfect. Now we're left with what? Now we've targeted the decrease, we've targeted the increase. Now,
Reset.
yeah, reset. So we only had 3 buttons, we targeted 2 of them. So are we going to write here else if or else?
Else.
Else, because we don't have anything else. So what do we want to do in the else part?
Like set count,
Very good. Set count to what?
parentheses 0.
Very good, 0. Perfect. Now what this means is it's going to work perfectly as we wanted to. Now why is this one better than the previous one? Because all of these buttons are not targeting the set count separately. Now all of these buttons are calling a single function, and that single function is dealing all of the functionality. So this way your code is much optimized as compared to the before approach. Okay, so now let's move
Yes,
towards
sir.
the today's topic. What I want to do with this counter is, if the value of this count is greater than 0, it should be green. If it's 0, it should be yellow. And if it's less than 0, it should be red. So how can we do it? How can we do it?
Condition, sir.
Very good, condition. And where do we put the conditions?
In function,
Before the return.
Okay, so here,
handle count,
yeah, handle count. So what do we say here? If it's equal to decrease,
another if,
another if. Okay, so what do we put in the if? Let's say if. Now what?
if the
Think.
value of decrease,
If the value of decrease,
Um.
नहीं decrease
think like a programmer.
I'm sorry. Can you just repeat that again?
Okay, so what do we want to do? If the number, and where is this number stored? It's inside the count. So if this count is greater than 0, it should be green. Like the count should be green. If it's 0, the count should be yellow. And if it's less than 0, it should be red. So this is what we want to do. You said we need to put conditions. Okay, I've said okay. Then you said it should be inside the handle count. So I'm inside the handle count. Now I need you guys to tell me the next step.
सर एक और फंक्शन भी बना सकते हैं इसके लिए
Yes, we can do a lot of functions.
सर एक एक फंक्शन बना के कलर्स का उसमें काउंट को हम कर दें अगर इक्वल टू माइनस में है तो उसको कलर्स को दे देते हैं हम रेड
Okay, yeah, we can do that. Let's say we can do it here as well. Inside the
यस
decrease,
सर
we can say if count is less than 0. Okay, so do what? Like what should be red? Like which
काउंट
thing?
शुड बी
The
रेड
count.
Count should be red. But the only problem
या
is, can we apply colors to numbers? Colors are only applied to HTML elements. Do you agree or not?
यस सर
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically we cannot apply colors to this count. Only this H1 can have the color applied. So but the only problem is we are inside the virtual DOM. We cannot get this H1 from HTML into the JavaScript through document.query selectors. We can't do that. So here comes our new topic, and that is called short circuits. Okay, so basically that short circuits, like, yeah, you guessing it right, that kind of short circuit, but the functionality is kind of different. Okay, let's say I'm gonna make a new file, and this file should start with a capital letter because it's a what? Why should it start with capital letter? I'm making a new file, okay, and the file should start with a capital letter, but why?
Because it's a component.
Because it's a component, yes. So the topic is short circuits. We're gonna pause this counter for the moment because we need to learn that concept in order to implement the yellow, red, and green colors. Okay, so the first thing you guys need to know is we cannot put conditions inside JSX. Like I've told you guys, if we were to put let's say curly braces, where are we standing? If we were to be inside these curly brackets, are we inside HTML or JavaScript?
JavaScript.
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 But we do have some limitations here. We cannot put conditions here. We cannot put these kinds of loop here, like for loop or while loop. So we are limited here. So what I want to do is I want to put conditions in these classes. And what do I want to do? Let's say if it's less than 0, we want it to have a red color like this, but it's always red. If we were to have the count is greater than 0, it should have a green color, but the only problem is it's always 0 now. If it's equals to 0, it should have a yellow color, but the only problem now is it's always 0. So what do we want to do? We want to apply these classes based on the condition. Like if the count is 0, it should be yellow. If it's less than 0, it should be red. If it's greater than 0, it should be green. But the only problem is, can I put conditions in here? Like can we put if else here?
No, sir.
We can do
No.
that. So that's where the short circuits come in. Short circuits allow you to put conditions inside JSX or HTML. They allow you to put conditions. So this is what our topic today is. Okay. So short circuits are fairly simple, easy, but for starters it's kind of complex, or not complex, confusing. Okay, so you'll see in a bit what I mean. I'm still seeing this counter. I want to see short circuits. What should I do? Look, I've put short circuits here, but I still see the counter. Why?
We have to invoke it
Where? Invoke it where? If you want to see the components, where do we call it?
and the counter.
No, no. The counter is a separate
App.jsx.
in the app.jsx, yes. So I'm gonna comment this out and I'm gonna call short circuits here. So perfect, we have the short circuits. Okay, I need to pay really close attention here. So I'm gonna make a state here. Let's call it text. Okay, initially it's going to be empty. And here, inside here, I'm gonna have an h1. Okay, class text enter and text, let's say 4x. Okay, I'm going to write something here, and again I need you to pay close attention please. So I'm going to go back in JavaScript. Okay, as I said, you cannot put conditions here, but we have a way to basically implement conditions, not if else, but they do the same thing. So what I'm going to write here is, I'm going to say text and salam. So what does this statement means? Take a guess. What does it mean? We have studied about and in JavaScript. Do you guys remember that? The logical operators?
If text is equal to salam, then show this.
Yeah, okay. Another guess? Guess again. Think something different. Like this and represents true values. Yes? So this statement here means, again listen carefully. This statement here means if the value of text is true, output salam. But if it's not true, output whatever is inside that text. I'm going to repeat again. I'm gonna put comment here as well. If text is equals to true, output salam. Else, output value of text. If the value of text is true, it's going to output salam. But if it's not true, it's going to output the value of text. Did you guys get it?
Okay. Yes.
So what will be the answer?
So
Okay, tell me this before answering me. Is the text true or false?
सर अभी टेक्स्ट में क्या वैल्यू है?
कुछ भी नहीं. There's nothing in text. So is text true or
Uh,
false?
so,
If a string is empty, it's considered false.
all right. It's
okay. Okay.
So what will be the answer?
So
the text is false,
it's
so it shows
it
the
would just
empty
have that.
string.
What would it show me?
Empty, nothing,
Nothing. Okay. Any more answers?
or it shows
Type the
false.
value of the text.
Okay. What is the value of the text? Like this.
Salam
So
Empty.
empty.
empty. This thing is
Empty.
stored inside the text. So value of text is empty. So this condition I'm going to repeat it again. If the value of text is true, which is not, it's going to output salam. So this condition is false. So it's not going to output salam. So we're left with the second condition. Else it's going to output the value of text. So what is the value of text?
Empty.
Empty. So it's going to show me what? It's going to show me
Nothing.
nothing.
Empty.
Yes.
Okay.
But if you want to do this, what will it show?
S.
S. No, it's gonna show salam.
Okay, it's going to show salam. Any more answers? Read this condition again.
Is show it will show S.
Okay, it'll show us. Any more answers? So we have a salam. One word for salam, one word for S. And what about?
It'll say S.
Okay, it'll say S. So no one is with salam apart from Miss Mariam, I guess. Okay. So I'm gonna repeat the condition again. If the text is true, you have to output salam. Else you have to output the value of text. So is text true or false?
No, it's false.
It has something written inside it. The string is only considered false if it's empty.
if there's nothing inside.
Exactly. So do we have something
Okay.
inside?
Yes, we have a
So
S.
is it true or false?
True.
So what would it say?
Wait, it should say salam if it's true.
Exactly. It's gonna say salam. Okay. So if
So
the
I
text,
had it right.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was confusing you guys because this one
Okay.
is really important. Okay, this topic is really important. You need to get the core concepts of it because I had two people saying S. Okay, so let's read this condition again. If the text is true, which it is, okay, it's gonna output salam. Okay, so what does true or false mean in a string is that if we have anything written inside a string, it's considered true. If we don't have anything, it's going to be considered false. But this time the text is true, so it's going to output salam. Else it would output the value of text. But since the condition is true, it's going to output salam. Okay. So let's do another condition. Do you guys get the concept of this and? Do you guys get the concept of and or not? Let's do it again maybe. Okay. So let's say I'm gonna say 5. So now tell me, is text true or false? It's not a string. Okay, I need you to pay again close attention. It's not a string. It's a number.
Uh,
Is
It's a
text true or
it's a
false?
text.
It,
It's true, sir.
it's
It's
true.
true.
Exactly, it's true. So what will be the output?
So it's gonna
Salam.
be
Salam.
salam, yes.
Exactly. Okay. What about now?
It's still true.
It's still true.
How does computer how does computer understands us? Using one zeros, right? One
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
stands
In
for
binary.
on and zero stands for off. Or more simply, one is true, zero is false. So the answer?
Okay, so it's false. So it's gonna show the value.
Exactly.
It's gonna be it's gonna be empty.
What is the value of
No,
text?
zero.
Zero. Yes.
It's gonna be
Oh,
zero.
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 Okay,
What about now?
it's true.
It's true. Then salam.
Salam. Perfect. Okay. What about now? Wait. What about now?
It's
Um,
still salam.
It's
I
still salam.
think it's true. Yeah.
Yes, it's still true. Only the zero is considered false in computer world. Okay, anything apart from
Okay.
zero is true. So what are we going to see? We're going to see salam. Okay.
Okay.
So what about now? This is a boolean.
It's true.
True. So what are we going to see?
Salam.
Salam.
Salam. Perfect. Now,
The value. So you're gonna see false.
no. It's a boolean. It's not going to
It's
show
true.
anything. Yeah. It's not going to show anything. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Now what are we going to see? Again, before answering,
Now we're
think.
going to see false.
Think before answering. Before it was a boolean, like it was either true or false. At the moment, what is the data type of text?
I
It's
think it's
salam.
true because it's in quotation.
Exactly, it's a
It's a,
string. So it's gonna show me what? False or salam?
it's gonna be
Salam.
salam.
Salam. Perfectly. Okay. Now let's talk about the second condition. Now it's almost kind of similar, but the opposite. So instead of this and signs, I'm gonna have vertical bars. So this thing, this above thing means that if text is true, it's gonna show me salam. What would this mean? It's the opposite.
If text is false, it's gonna show
This is
Islam.
gonna show salam. Else is gonna show text. Let me write this down as well. If text is false, it's gonna output salam. Else is gonna output the value of text. Perfect. So this is the only difference between them. So what are we going to see on the screen? How many things are we going to see on the screen?
Um,
Two.
And what are those two things? The first one, the first H1 is going to say what?
Salam.
Okay, it's gonna say salam. What about the second one? If
so
text is
if the
false,
text is false, it's gonna show salam.
the second thing
If
says
it's
if text is
the
false, only then show me salam. Else show me the value of text.
False.
It's gonna
uh,
show yes. Since is text false or not?
Yes, it will show false.
Yeah, it'll show false. But tell me how is it showing me false? Is text true or false? It's a
it's true.
it's true. Yes. So this only runs like the salam is only going to be printed if the text is false. But since text is true, it's going to show me text, the value of
False.
text that is false. So I'm going to see salam and false. Let's do this.
Okay.
What am I going to see now?
It's empty. So uh
First will show salam.
Okay. And the second one?
No, the first is gonna show nothing.
Okay.
First is gonna show nothing. The second one is gonna show salam.
Exactly. First one is going to show nothing. The second one is going to show salam. How? This one says that if text is true, only then show salam. So text isn't true, so it's not going to show salam. Either show the value of text. So text is empty, nothing is going to be shown. Second condition says that if text is false, only then show salam. So is text false? Yes, it's empty, so it's false. So it's going to show us salam. Perfect. What about now?
The first one is gonna show us
0.
Okay.
nothing.
Yes.
The
Zero.
second one's gonna
Zero.
show us salam.
Yes. Perfect. First one is going to show us 0 because it says if the text is true, only then show salam. Text isn't true because 0 isn't true. So it's going to show us the value of text that is 0. The second one says that if text is false, only then show salam. So text is false. So it's going to show us salam and 0 and false. Perfect. Now let's do this. What are we going to see?
The first one is gonna say salam. The second one is gonna say nothing.
Okay. Any more answers?
The first gonna say salam
Okay.
because it's true,
And what about the
and
second one?
is that text equal to true?
If the text is false,
Second nothing. Second nothing.
nothing. Let
A
me read
zero.
again.
I
If the
text
text
equal
is
to 0. Yeah.
yes, if the text is false, only then show me salam, else show me the value of text. So
So
text isn't
value of
false.
text is 0.
Yeah, so text isn't false. So it's not going to show me salam. It's going to show me whatever the value of text is, that is 0. Okay. What about now?
The first one is gonna say salam.
Yes.
The second one is gonna say one.
1. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, this is the basic of short circuits. But you would here encounter a problem, and that is these things, that and this or. Okay, this one is called and this one is called or. So these things only deal one condition at a time. What if we want to deal multiple conditions in the same time? So what are we going to do? Let me show you what are we going to do. So we have a thing that's called ternary operator. Although it sounds like we would have three conditions, but it deals two conditions at the same time. So ternary operator. Okay. So how are we going to put ternary operators? I'm going to say text question mark. This statement here says, only this part of the statement says, if the value of text is true. This question mark says whether the value of text is true or not. Okay, so we're going to say text question mark. This means if the value of text is true, say text is true. Now for else part, we put colons. This thing says if text is true, do this, else do this. So what are we going to see?
This is true.
This is true, exactly. So the value of text is true. So this says if text is true, say text is true. So it's going to say text is true. Okay, let's do this. So we're going to say text greater than 9. This says if text is greater than 9, say text is true, else say text is false. So what are we going to see?
Text is true.
Text is true, exactly, because the value of text is greater than 9.
9.
Here you go. Okay, so what if we do this?
Text is false.
Text is false. Perfect. So do you guys get the concept?
Yeah.
Now let's apply this to our counter. Okay, so we go back to our app. We uncomment this counter and comment this short circuit, so we would have counter here. Okay, so now let's apply it here. Okay, so tell me, are we inside HTML or JavaScript here? we
HTML.
Yeah, HTML, good. We need to put conditions on the classes, right? We need to put classes based upon the condition. Is that right or not? Let me put
Yeah.
comment here as well. If count is greater than 0, we want to put class of text green 500. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
If our count is equals to 0, we want to do what? We want to put,
Yellow.
yeah, text yellow 500. And if our count what happened here? Okay, so if our count is less than 0, we want to put the class of,
Red.
perfect. So here we have a pseudocode. Pseudocode means that it's not an actual code but like a representation of what we want to do. So we want to put these classes based upon the condition here. Okay, so are conditions implemented in JavaScript or HTML?
JavaScript.
JavaScript. So we need to go this part, we need to take this part into JavaScript. How do we do it?
The curly
Curly
brackets.
bracket. Okay, now we want to basically join strings and variables together. So what should we do? Because the class name is text, the string, and the count is a variable. So what should we do if you want to join strings and variables together?
Backticks.
Backticks, good. So backticks. We put backticks, and let's remove the quotation marks here. So this class, we want it implemented all the time. So we're gonna leave this one as it is. Here we want to put conditions now. Now again, I need you to pay close attention. So I'm gonna say dollar curly brackets because we need to put variable here. So on which part do we need to put conditions on? Like what is our base on which we are going to put conditions? The base is what? The value of count.
Count.
So here we are going to say count is greater than 0. And how do we check if it's true or not? What do we put here? We've just studied it.
Colon.
Sorry?
Colon.
No, not colon. If you want to check whether it's true, we put question mark.
Oh, question mark.
Question
So we're
mark.
going to say question mark. So this will mean if the value of count is greater than 0, and question mark means if it's true. If it's true, which class do we want to add?
Text green.
Very good. So inside the quotations, we're going to say text green 500. What do we put for else? Like if it's not greater than 0?
Colon.
Colon.
Colons. Yes, colons. And what do we put as class if it's not greater than 0? Which class do we put? Which class do we put if it's not greater than 0? Text
Two
red 500.
classes.
No, the color red.
Yeah, the color red. So we want the class to be red. So that's it. Look, if it's less than 0, it's red. If it's greater than 0, it's green. Now we're left with one last thing. We have a problem.
Zero.
Reset.
Yeah, when it's 0, it's red. Why? Because our condition says that if the value of count is not greater than 0, you have to put red. So 0 is not greater than 0. So what should we do? Now again, this part is quite important because we have nested ternaries. Like we have nested conditions here. Look, this thing says if count is greater than 0, put this class. Now if it's not greater than 0, how many conditions are we left with?
One.
1? Think again. If it's greater than
True.
0, what conditions are we left with? It's either less than 0 or
Or is equal to
is
0.
equal to 0. So basically, if it's greater than 0, it's going to put green class. But if it's not equal to 0, then we're left with two more conditions. So here in the else part, we're going to put another ternary. That's going to say check whether it's equal to 0 or less than 0. So how? We're going to say count is less than 0. And then what do we put here?
Question mark.
Question mark. Check whether the count is less than 0 or not. If it's less than 0, which class are we going to put?
Red.
Text red. So now we're left with only one condition. Else, do what? Text yellow 500. I
Yellow.
need you to please take a really close look at this one. And if you don't get it, please tell me. What it's saying is, if count is greater than 0, let me undo it so we have it in one line. So it's saying if count is greater than 0, put the class of green. Else we're left with two more conditions. And what are those two conditions? Is it less than or is it equals to? So in the else part, we're going to say if the count is less than 0, do what? Put the red class. But if it's not less than 0, if it's equal to 0, do what? Put the yellow class.
Yellow
Yellow
class.
class.
Save it and let's check it out. We have the yellow color. Let's decrease it. Red color. Let's increase it. Green color.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, I got it.
But you have to do it. If you don't do it, if you do it with the classes, don't do it with the classes, you wouldn't get the next concepts. This thing I've said it in the first class. I'm gonna repeat it in every class because this is really important. Okay, you have to do the assignments
Okay.
side by side with me, else it'll become really difficult. Okay, so before the next class,
Okay.
Okay. Bro.
try doing it. In fact, when the class ends, please try doing it right of the class. It's hardly is gonna take I guess half an hour, and you'll be done with it. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, you guys can leave, and we'll have the meeting tomorrow, inshallah.
All right,
Inshallah.
inshallah.
Okay,
We
Okay, Allah
go.
thank you,
Hafiz.
Alaikum.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.